Risky behavior.
The views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of the host and guest and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This channel does not promote bias, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. All questions posed and thoughts shared are part of a critical thinking exercise and are not meant to offend or judge any individual or group. We encourage respectful dialogue and love for all. Please remember to think critically and engage thoughtfully. We aim to foster a positive and inclusive community where everyone feels welcome. Thank you for being a part of Risky Behavior ENT.
Risky behavior.
At an initial reaction, and as the conversation progressed, my energy shifted.
Why can't
That's
y'all be?
normal.
I wonder
The
why people
hell?
can't be adults.
That's
Cause right,
normal.
I've flipped
That's
out in
normal.
rooms before and I've made mistakes. But you know what I do? I
It's a
wholeheartedly,
mistake.
I just apologize. I don't try to
I did
re-explain
that
it.
several
But you keep
times.
trying to re-explain it. Just apologize and
Cause
leave it alone.
they emphasized. But okay, I'm gonna let it go.
We
All
can
right,
move
next.
on.
I want to
Yeah,
see you PTR
next.
though, Golden. You ain't PTR yet
I
though. I'm curious.
will.
She ain't about the PTO.
Ciao.
You
Okay.
want Golden? You say for Golden to PTR herself?
Yeah, cause she was talking on. I mean, the conversation is done though, but I was just curious. That's something she said she would. She
About what
said
her
she
body
will.
look like?
Yeah, like her body. I'm just out of curiosity. I mean, out of curiosity. I
she,
probably
she
should
had
even
Oh,
ask.
you
she
got
brought it
that
up,
San Fran.
Clarity. They
Oh,
had
she
brought
Man,
it
did.
up.
that's hard living to be wearing that San Fran shit, boss.
Hey man, I'm out in Cali though. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard right now though. You sound
Y'all
like you from
fucking
Philly, man. So
failed me.
y'all on the high horse right now. It's all good. Y'all
Y'all
deserve it though.
failed me on fucking prize picks. Fucking clowns.
Who? San
Yo,
Francisco?
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah, they failed me too.
Nah,
Man, that
Kelly,
shit.
get on Phil now. Get
Nah,
on
don't get
Phil.
on me,
Yeah,
man. Don't get on
Phil.
me,
Yo.
man. I got enough heartbreak. I got enough heartbreak behind that shit,
Fuck
man.
you,
Fuck
Phil.
you.
We had like a decade. We had like a decade of we should have made it, man. Them niggas. We lost Debo. He got man. I don't even want to talk about that shit, bro. Them niggas is.
I won my
Don't
entire
act like
lineup
you
last
sad when
night
you
though.
set this shit up.
Nah, I'm just saying, bro. That's me at the
Go ahead,
game. Like
Kelly. What you say?
I've been a Niner fan since a kid, bro. It's just that I'm from Sacramento, but we had two teams. You had the Raiders and the Niners. Raiders done left us. I've been a Niner though all my life, and them niggas, man. Anyways, I'm just glad Philly won though, because I'm getting tired of Kansas City.
Look, y'all, I won my entire lineup last night. Let's fucking go. Shout outs to ChatGPT.
That's a game
PTR.
changer.
Yeah.
Let me see
Stop
this shit.
fucking with me,
PTR, and
nigga.
I can't really read that shit though.
I'm different. Why y'all don't be telling women to get into prize picks and underdog and shit like that? Cause they're, I don't know. I don't know.
What you talking about? I told my girl, man, we lost 500. I ain't telling nothing again. I said, man,
Joe Button is always talking about prize picks, man.
Look, Schmelly, I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you the secret with ChatGPT on how to get your shit to light up almost every time.
Hey Phil, you see how the PTR set up? Our swags is different.
Oh shit. He coming for you. What the fuck?
nah, I just
Yo.
told her, listen, I just said, bro, like, I'm glad that y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all beat Kansas City. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So,
probably go out swags is different the way we look.
Yo.
yeah, yeah. What you trying to say? We soft in California? The weather's nice, nigga. It ain't
I'm
20
just saying
degrees, nigga.
one person's PTR looked like they came to kick some ass. As of the other one, not so much.
They just showed up to watch their asses get kicked.
Yeah, this nigga. I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect it, though. I respect it.
Did y'all bet on that on the Super Bowl?
Goddamn right, I
Hell
bet it
no.
on my boy.
Fuck you. I bet it on San Francisco. I just knew they was gonna do the basics. They failed me.
Yeah, they failed all of us. It's all good.
Phil, in your PTR, you don't even really look like you believe. That like I really zoomed in.
Like
That
you
ain't a
just
real
got invited
smile.
to the game, diabolical.
That's like you unsure in that picture. You look
This
unsure.
picture says, "Look, I'm at a football game."
You know what game that was? That game was shit. That was the Eagles. That was us and the Eagles. We won that game though, but my girl actually bought me. It was December 10th. She actually bought me tickets to the game, so I was just happy to be there. That was my first time going to Levi Stadium. So
You was in the nosebleeds because you look kind of high up.
nah, that's when you just get to the stadium. We wasn't at our seats or nothing. We was like on a little thing overlooking
All
before you get
right,
into
all
the stadium.
right.
Yeah, we wasn't at our seats. We had good seats though.
Shout outs
We
to
had good seats.
y'all.
Yeah, I
I
was just
mean, but
drinking
you was
beer
on the
and
couch
bullshit,
when it
man.
was
We
time to
yeah we
see us
won.
really. You
Huh?
was on the couch and it was time for us to come for that trophy, though.
Yeah, I was watching. I just didn't want Mahomes to win, and y'all did. Like I said, y'all did your thing, bro. Like I'm glad. Like I was getting tired of Kansas City, bro. I ain't gonna lie. They beat us. You know what I'm saying? They beat all kind of motherfuckers in the Super Bowl. So I'm glad I said Philly got to do it. And y'all niggas. Plus they was trying to cheat, all kind of shit. Y'all still
Hold
did
on.
your thing though.
Hey, Phil Golden posted the PTR for you.
Let me see. Hold on. I see the same thing. You got something different? Oh, Golden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now I'm really pissed off at Golden.
Yeah, she creamy. She got the
I'm
She
cream.
all
not
right.
fat.
She all right.
No, she's not
So
fat.
why
Nah,
was you even in
Golden.
that
Now Golden
conversation to begin
Right.
wrong.
with?
Yeah.
Golden wrong. Golden
How am
wrong. You look
You
like
said this
that.
years
I wrong?
ago.
You look like that, and you tried to side
With a
with
fat
that
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah,
plump
exactly. You should have
motherfucker.
sided with Kelly. You
I
know,
was no. I just felt.
Yo.
Okay. I
That's goofy,
apologized already. I'm
Golden.
not about to apologize
Nah,
too
but
much
you
longer
you
got
know
some
what?
now.
Hold on.
animosity towards me, sis. What's
No,
it?
No,
hey,
it's not,
You
Kelly.
You
It's
look
do.
like that,
not.
and you, Kelly.
Oh my
She looked in
god.
all of our faces and lied to her, and that's what she looked like. But she
I
gonna
did
try to,
not
and
say
that
I
go back
was
to what
fat.
Phil said. Phil,
Nothing.
your club reference was right
Oh my
because
exactly.
Golden to
gosh.
look at her and be like, "Yeah, girl, you look good.
All
We
It would
right.
have
twins."
been. Listen,
Okay.
Listen,
No,
it
you
would have
not.
been
All
Golden.
right.
Hold on. It would have been Golden. It would have been Golden, Kelly, and Pumpkin at the club, and I'd have been like, nah, that ain't my type. And Golden would have been the one talking. She like, oh, that nigga, girl, you a
No,
10,
but
dude. But Kelly would have
listen.
been the one talking
You got
Talking
speculation.
kids. You
that
Go ahead.
got kids,
talk. Talking
Golden.
that
You got
talk.
kids, Golden.
No, but what I'm saying
You
is
ain't got no
I
kids.
need y'all to, and I'm not gonna do too much. I done explained this shit 13,000 times at this point. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Whatever.
Please don't
I'm
re-explain.
not
I
But
asking
won't.
that
you
don't make
about
I'm not.
that.
sense,
I ain't
I'm
gonna
Kelly.
even
asking,
get
I'm
did
at
you have
sorry.
y'all.
kids?
It don't.
That's what I was asking you. I was just asking, did you have kids? And how old are you? How old
I
are
do
you,
have
Golden?
kids.
You just said you did have
I never
kids.
said I didn't have kids. That was her. I never said I didn't have kids. I never
Okay.
said that. I
Okay.
have children. Yeah, I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old. I have
God
kids.
damn. How old are you?
Oh, if you
Yep.
have a 15-year-old, you're probably older than me. How old are you?
15. No, I started young. I had him at 17. Goddamn.
Uh,
But yeah, but it was like that. But
You
yeah,
my
I
age.
have he about to be 16. My daughter turned 12. But I'm 30. I'm about to be 33 in August.
Oh no, you ain't. You younger than me. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Dang.
I
Golden, you ain't
know.
have no
I
damn
know.
business
Yeah.
trying to take up for that
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
some
No,
Okay.
don't
fat
bring it
bitches,
back
bro.
up,
What we
All
Doc.
right.
Come on. Let's get past that.
All right, I'm like, it's because I'm kind of just
Please.
Golden usually she be usually
I
more
mean, she
mature and
probably
I
was
stuff than
upset by
Mahomes.
do,
that. By
but
the,
she was
it was
just
a lot of things Pretty
okay.
said that could have triggered
I
Golden.
was
It didn't
not
have to just
triggered.
be shit. It
It
Hey,
was
hold on,
Kelly
hold on.
said a
her.
lot of
I felt
fly
bad
shit
for
out of mouth. That was like, yeah.
her.
Hey,
But
Philly
okay.
Bull, man. Philly Bull, take
All
that
right.
PTR off, man. You made your point, bro.
Oh,
Like,
you
you know
want
what I'm
me to
saying? You
change
ain't
my
gotta do me like
PT,
that.
Izzy?
Go back to normal, man. Yeah, man. I'm starting to see the trauma of
No
the
different.
He
Eagles
gonna put up some more
when we
gear.
seen them
Why you tell
niggas.
I'll
him that?
change
You about to
my
put up some more
PTR when
shit.
you change
Watch.
yours, sir. I'll
Yeah.
change mine when you change yours.
Ah. All right, I guess we in a
That's the only way I
standstill.
can do it, bro.
I mean, you got the Super Bowl in your hands, nigga. So nah, you got it. You got it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I would hate for this to turn into a fat skinny thing.
Yeah, the
Nah,
Eagles,
nigga, we ain't doing all that.
they some cocky. Them motherfucker, one thing about them, when they win, they
Who?
make sure
Philly?
everybody know they won, nigga. The aliens got alerts that they won.
Seen Gilly
Hey,
the Kid
look,
was
'cause
on
you
the
gotta
field, all that shit.
understand, man. It's like because again, it's a thing where we hate it, bro. We just hate it on the regular. You know, it's like Kansas City Chiefs. Matter of fact, it's like the Patriots. The Patriots was winning so much. They had haters for G. Motherfuckers that didn't even know football hated the Patriots. You understand what I'm saying? Just because they was talked about. So when it was our turn, it was like we got so much hatred for the fact that we shut the season down from the drive, and then to win the Super Bowl. Oh, we was hated all season long because of the W's we was putting on the board. So the minute you said the Eagles, hey, oh fuck the Eagles, fuck, I can't stand them up. Why? Then you know it when it's all said and done, all that hatred, and then you know Eagles gonna do what they gonna do. Y'all gonna get there, and then y'all gonna choke, and then for us to walk away with the, you understand me? It's like, come on, man, give us the respect needed now.
I mean, I don't even know football all that great, but I be whooping my son ass and matter when it comes to the Eagles. I always pick the Eagles
Nah, I
every
gotta
time.
get it. I gotta get Eagles a props though, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hate on that. Like I never had a problem with them to be honest, but I gotta give them their props. They did their fucking thing, man. Fucking fucking Hurts, all them niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Saquon Barkley, they did their fucking thing, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Now, fuck that, Phil. Pull out your shiesty San
I ain't
Fran,
got.
man. Come on, man. Come on.
I gotta go
Don't let
Cogswell.
Clarity
I
pull up
know,
on you
I
like
know,
that
I
in this
know, I
room, man.
know. Yeah. Hold on, let me see what I got up in here, bro.
Ain't too much to talk about. You gotta leave it where it's at, man. I'm not trying to have that. Remember when Jerry Rice and I'm not doing that, bro. I know how that shit go.
Clarity say he talking about right now. Don't go to the.
Yeah, it's like talking to a Cowboys fan. Motherfucker, yeah, you got. Hey, listen. Remember when we remember back in the '90s when we? God damn, my man, the '90s though.
Why Cowboy fans don't never match? They irritate me. Like, like nigga, like if you the Falcons, Hawk, whatever, we always, red, black car. They always got like a red burgundy car with the cowboy flag. I'm like, y'all, they never match to me. I don't know why that bothers me, but it just does. They just got this random cowboy flag. Just it never
Bro,
goes
there's
with
certain
anything.
teams in the NFL you don't even talk about during the season when they games start. It's just fuck it. You know the Giants playing. Damn, they still play football. I didn't even know they still play. Oh shit! And that's how I be talking to the Cowboys fans and the Giants fans, cause this shit be killing me. It's like you ain't made a we ain't heard from you since God knows when, and you still want to try to fight to be relevant. First, you got to do something relevant, nigga.
See these niggas talking big shit now that they got the Super Bowl, huh?
That's like the
Shout out to
fourth.
Philly though. Shout out to Philly though.
I'm not saying the 49ers. You know, y'all. Every once in a while, y'all do something exciting. But it's just let's just call a spade a spade. A lot of these teams be irrelevant.
Yeah, the Jets, all them niggas. Yeah, you right.
Like you say the
The
Raiders and
Jaguars.
the Raiders.
Yeah, them niggas is.
Miami Dolphins just started making noise this year, last season. They just started making some type of noise. But they had an almost 15-year runner. Who the fuck is the Dolphins? They ain't been since Dan
You
Marino
right.
and
You right.
Ace Ventura put him in the movie.
Yeah, you right. You right.
Oh yeah, that was wild. Wild.
So a lot of people didn't even know who Dan Marino was until Ace Ventura put him in the movie, and it was like, oh shit, we ain't know they won that many Super Bowls.
Detective, you right. You right.
So it's like it's a lot of things you got to look. Everybody kept thinking, the Patriots was the number one team, but once they couldn't afford to keep that team together, that shit was over with. Now you don't hear about them ringing bells like that no more. So I mean, it's a caveat to everything.
You know what though? That's what happened to us though, bro. Like we had the, and I'm not even trying to make it about us, but we was for the last like 6 7 years, bro. We was right there, NFC championships, Super Bowls. We just couldn't do it,
You know,
even with
you know
Purdy,
what's funny
Brock
when
Purdy.
people talk that fucks me up, Phil, respectfully. When people say shit like, not to make it about me, but let me tell you how I broke, and it's like Wait a minute. How you not going not to make it about you, to make it about you?
Now you right. You right.
That's like when a nigga tell me no disrespect. I try to cut him off before he say the disrespectful shit. Cause normally when you say no disrespect, that mean you about to disrespect the fuck out of me. You just don't want me to see it as such.
Yeah, dude. You gotta put
Now
that
you right. You right. You
disclaimer
right.
on it. Yeah.
You right. Yeah. You right. Nah, nigga, I was talking about my team, nigga. I gotta put a little disclaimer, man. We ain't that bad,
That
but
that
I mean,
means
the coaching staff.
you had a premeditated thought that you know how this shit about to come out.
Nah, not to him. I'm talking. Nah, the disrespect was to my team, and I had to catch myself. 'Cause, nigga, I'm
so
still loyal. You know what I'm
so a
saying? I can't
motherfucker
really.
try to put you in the mindset of no disrespect. So when you say the disrespectful shit, I don't want you to respond on it from a disrespectful manner. You feel? Don't look at it as disrespect because I already said no disrespect. And
Right.
I be trying to because and again when you start to genuinely listen, you hear that weak ass wordplay motherfuckers throw out there for you to look at shit a certain way, so they spin the fuck out of you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Like
I
I
be
said,
getting
my G, I'm thinking about. I was about to disrespect my team. That's why I was like, oh nah, let me. But yeah, they fucked up, man. I'm still on it though.
Phil,
Maybe
could
one day.
Phil, could you accept that we're in the era of the Eagles?
Nah, I accept that. I accept it. I
Okay.
accept it. Like I said, I'm glad the Chiefs is done.
the next
So
time I see your PTR, it should come with a green hoodie or something.
I see the green field in the background, man. I'm doing enough.
I like how
Golden, you
Jay
giving me
is
Mary J.
what?
Blige vibes though. I'm getting Mary J. Blige vibes from you. No more drama in my life type shit. I see it.
Can we get back to the conversation, guys? Have you ever changed your mind during a debate?
Who, me? Or you? Who asked
Everybody,
that question?
anybody. That's the title of the room.
Motherfucking right. But
In
the
the
reason
right in
why,
the
the
debate
reason
you
why,
did that?
yeah, for sure. Because I'm one of them. I'm not closed-minded. Some people debate closed-mindedly. In other words, I'm only going to see it from my perception. I'm not going to take it from your perception. But now on a stage where the debate is strictly about, who somebody got to get the W, I've never did it in that kind of debate. But just a regular debate between me and another individual and things like that, I'll debate. But it's one of them things where I'm not cutting my growth off, where I'm not closed minded. I like to look at things from 1,001 positions. You understand what I'm saying? Because your perception will change depending on the position you're standing in when looking at the picture. But until you take a couple steps, it's like if you're too close to a picture, you're only going to focus. Let's say I got a picture of a forest, but you're so close to the picture, you don't see the river in the picture. So I'm only going to talk about the green shit and how beautiful the green is. But while you're talking about the river, and it's like, wait a minute, but the river adds to it. I'm like, a river? What the fuck are you talking about? And then it's like, oh, listen, I'm gonna need you to take a step back a little. You're too close to the picture. Take a couple steps back. That way you can see the river now. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, I see where you're going at with it. So because a lot of times in a debate, it's not more so what you're arguing about, it's the perception about what you're speaking on. And when you start to realize that you're comfortable with taking ownership of your perception but respecting another's perception. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to remember in a debate, we're speaking on the same exact thing, literally, from two different positions. I'm just trying to hold the position of saying my position is more valid than yours. But then it might be a glitch in my position that you spot, and as opposed to you helping me grow with it, you'll use that as a strike moment to attack me. So, and in the process of that attack, this is where you get to downgrade my position in the debate. This is how debates are won. But in a position where there's nothing to gain within this the debate but knowledge, I'm willing to see where you lack at and add to it. Where it and normally when my mind shifted in a debate, it shifts from a dynamic of we both have literally just started to build together now, as opposed to I'm right and you're wrong, or you're wrong and I'm right. We have reached a level of understanding where we're adding to each other shit now. So it go from a debate to a conversation on some cool shit. So I done been in those positions, but as far as a debate where I'm literally like you stand where you stand at and you refuse to come outside your box, then normally I just crush the box you in. Yeah, I just normally go for the crushing of the box.
You know, I get what you're saying. I don't think I ever get a chance. I think okay. One time I was, but it gotta be with somebody that's like open minded, clear headed. I was talking to my homeboy one time. We was just talking about like pro life, pro choice, right? And so I'm debating with him, like, nah, it's gotta be pro life and stuff. But then the way and at the time when he was like, man, the fuck they gonna do with all these babies, man? Don't nobody want to adopt them. You got the kids, they get abused. Like his whole argument, the way he said it, made me say, you know what? Maybe I need to rethink the way. And I can't remember everything he said, man. But in a lot of times though, what I find is that I don't think I ever get to a point where I could change my mind because I know that sometimes in debates, my experience is that people they personalize it. They don't want to just stick to the topic, what the argument is.
That's how
They
you crush
somehow think
their
we're
box, bro.
enemies, right? They think we enemies or something. I'm like, man, come on.
And all you do is use that against them in a debate because now you're allowing your emotions to control the conversation, not the facts. Your logic goes out the window. And this is when you'll start to see that box they in. You'll see it right in your face get smaller and smaller because what you'll do is stick to logic and fact and fuck your emotions during this debate. It's not about how I feel, it's about what it is. So when they push their emotions, what you do is shift the dynamics into a level of I get how you feel, but let's go back to logic and fact. And what happens is they're so frustrated about you're ignoring their position and validating their emotions in the debate, they stick to that oh fuck you. They go into that fuck you mode. And this is when you pretty much, recycle their ass, if you will.
And I think, and now I agree with that, but and also I think it's a little bit better. I've had better experiences, I think, when it's one on one, like just but I think on Clubhouse it's damn near impossible, man. Because what I noticed, I don't know if you probably experienced this. I've actually seen it happen to you before. You could be debating one person, and the other people in the room that agree with that person may start to feel like they're fighting that. Like, remember what I said before? People sometimes stake their existence, the way they live their life, their belief system. To accept anything different to them is like crumbling their reality. And so I think
Well,
on
well, diabolical on
Clubhouse becomes because those people will jump in when they see you
but
defeating
right,
that person.
but you got to remember on Clubhouse, what they do is what I call drown you out. You understand what I'm saying? It's not really in a situation where they all come together and they agree and it's over. No, no, no. What they do is they form like Voltron and try to drown you out. And in the process of drowning you out, what it does is they just cut off you being heard. That's it. So now all the room here is everybody's agreeing with Pretty, but they're not. That what they're doing and everybody what they're hearing and everybody agreeing with Pretty. They're not letting anybody hear you. It's not saying you're wrong. It's saying they're going to make sure don't nobody hear what you're saying, even if you're right. And when you get a lot of clicking up from that position on this app, what you normally do is you wait for it because they always give you a lane. So you wait for the lane, you strike, and then you mute up. But you got to make your words as powerful as ever when you deliver it, because you only got a couple seconds to strike, and you use patience with it. Because if you get just as excited or frustrated, what happens is it exposes you and not them. It's like if me and you started debating right now, right? Diabolical. And let's say, what's up, Jay? And let's say everybody else in the room agrees with you, Diabolical. What I'll do is because now what they're going to do is not only agree with you, but they're going to try to trigger me. So what it does is make you look like you're right. But if I'm not triggered, no matter how hard they fight to drown me out, when I speak, what happens is I expose everything gets exposed now. Not only the fact of them agreeing with you, but it exposes why they're agreeing with you. See, you don't lose until your emotions get involved in a situation and you get frustrated. That's what the backup team is for. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, nah, I understand. They like I had a room recently. They did that to me and stuff, man. It was hard. I tried not to lose my temper because I was like, man, they playing with me
Oh, it
now.
will
I
piss
was
you
like,
off
man,
now. Don't get me wrong. I ain't say it wouldn't piss you off.
cause it ain't fair, man. It ain't fair. I don't like it. I was like, man, I don't like how they
Hey,
doing me.
D, and you be in the cut
Like,
like, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, man. And they just keep on going, and they just move on like with the conversation.
Like
I
you
was like,
wasn't
yo, I
even
feel like an
there and
idiot.
shit.
Yeah, like I feel like an idiot sitting in the room. I was like, all right, I get it. You know what I mean? And but you know what? That particular argument made sense, you know, um, because it was actually an argument about protecting people's emotions or feelings, and they was calling everything protection and stuff. So I can understand the emotional attack from them in that particular debate, even though I was debating two people at the same damn time. You know,
Oh, hey, listen, I go through that
what's
all the
up, Kevin? I
time
thought
on
you had
here.
left.
I swear for God, I go through that all. But I'm okay with it because you also got to remember that no matter what you do in life, still sharp and still. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're operating and doing things genuine and you're taking a genuine approach to it, you're learning without the realization of you learning. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you know you're being taught. Sometimes I get on here literally just to go to just to that no different than I go to the gym. I get on here like it's the gym. Because it's all about building me to a certain degree. You learn I didn't literally learn how to proper communicate while learning self-discipline all at the same time on here. I have literally learned the true meaning of you can't control nothing around you. You can only control how you respond to things around you. If this clubhouse don't teach you anything, it teaches you that, bro.
Nah, I think I done got way better. You know, I ain't at 100% though, man. But I done got way better. Cause I used to be way worse. I done hurt people's feelings, um, and stuff on this app. You know, and you know, getting into it with people
But
because I felt
diabolical.
like, you know, hey, you
I've
playing
learned
with me. But now I've learned, but I still have my stuff.
it's one thing that I've learned in maturing in life is you don't never want to be 100%. The only time you want to be 100%, and even in then is skeptical is with your decision making. You never want to be 100% on a lot of different things. And that's only because what happens is it shows a sign of completion. That sign of completion destroys the room for growth. So I'm
Oh, okay,
not
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of really fighting to be 100%. I'm cool with 90. I'm cool with 80. I never want to be 100% strictly because when you reach that level of feeling as though it's completion, you can't take any once it's completed, it doesn't take on any more new information. It will only stay with that information it has. It can't even evolve at that point.
Yeah, I think I think my whole thing is because I just feel bad when I let them get to me and under my skin. It make me feel stupid. It make me feel like them, and I don't like feeling like them. And that's probably the only part I have with it. So I don't. I guess I should just say I don't know how to word it. Not like 100%, but at least I would like to be in even more control. Even though I'm good now, I would like to be in even more control of just um that word they use, trigger.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It boils down to controlling your triggers. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm super. I would say I mastered it with women. It's with the men I get frustrated. See, with women, I'm cool with the use a faggot and all, because normally women, their job is to take the lowest blow necessary on this app. The lowest they can get with a man, a heterosexual man, is calling him a faggot and things of that nature. So I look for that. It's with the men it normally frustrates me, because a lot of these men, on one hand, they say we're men, and we got to do this, that, and the third, and then I'll watch them entertain shit from a feminine position, and then they'll address me from a feminine position, and it's like, how, bro? How you not see you operating from a feminine position? And this shit just irks my soul. So I reached it, and it makes me mad. It's like when an individual talks all this and say all these big words that sound intelligent, but because you got a clear understanding of what they're saying, they ain't saying a motherfucking thing. That shit irritates my soul, bro.
Hey, I know
I,
exactly what you're talking about too.
you said what?
I said I know exactly what you're talking about when people do that. They do it all the time, and they'll be going on forever, using a bunch of nice words, and especially, man, if they got the perfect tone. Everybody in the room be like, "Yeah, that was deep." I'm like, this
He ain't
nigga ain't
said
say
a
nothing.
motherfucking thing, bro. It's like I was just in this other room, right? And I don't know. I think somebody was in there with me, but I'm addressing this motherfucker, man. And this motherfucker is talking about women make more money than men and yada yada yada. And I mean, all his stats are off. So I go to the stats and I'm trying to pinpoint all the stats being off. And he's like, "Oh, he's just a hood nigga. He ain't saying shit. That's the problem. His brain is too small." And I'm like, and I'm trying to explain in the room, because he's delivering it with this all this deep ass intellect, and I'm like, y'all missing the fact that this motherfucker keeps attacking me and not my message, and y'all making it seem like this nigga is saying some beautiful shit. He haven't addressed my message yet. He haven't attacked nothing I said out my mouth, but he kept, "Oh, I can't believe y'all even listening to the street, nigga. You can't hear the hood in his voice." And it's like, nigga, address what I'm saying. I refuse to address what he's saying, just strictly because he sounds like he's from a poverty-stricken neighborhood. And it's, what the fuck? And the room was going wild, like this nigga was saying some magical shit.
Well, yeah, man. If they can't attack your logic or your points of your argument, they're gonna always go personal. It's kind of like when it, they do it all the time. They ask you a question instead of attacking the topic. If you're talking about money, they may say, "Well, let me ask you, brother, do you own the business?" It's like, what? This me owning the? What are you talking about? I looked this up. It's right. It's factual. Why are you asking me? Like, so you'll listen to me, I guess, if I do own the business. Here's the thing, I just lied to him, you know, just to move the conversation along.
But see, here's it. What I've learned is, and once I got an understanding of it, it's hard for me to get. I still get frustrated because, again, like, I'm still learning how to lock in and just basically tune everything out when I see it's emotional. Because one thing you learn, if people can't attack what you're saying, people will attack how people view what you're saying. And it's not really attack on you, it's an attack to you, but they're not attacking you per se to knock you down. They're attacking you to people focus on how they need to see you, because if I see you a certain way, I'll view your message from a certain position. You feel what I'm saying? So if I can make them look at Diabolical like he ain't shit, then by default they can see his message ain't shit. So it's a mental game that some are good at and some aren't good at. But again, when you operate from the genuine position and you don't get triggered and fall into their hands, what happens is it exposes their hand now. You see what I'm saying? And I learned that. That's why I'm always saying this is chess. This ain't checkers, dog. Because by default, if I don't get triggered, it exposes everybody. Because what it does is, it's not that I'm doing anything dramatic. What I'm doing is I'm giving space for shit to process in everybody's brain correctly. So if I don't get triggered and attack you back, it's like now people can own that you just attacked me. But the minute I attack you back, it's like, well, wait a minute. They're both doing the same thing. So now they're going to rock with who they fuck with now. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what all people do. Because I've said that before to somebody before. We was talking about marriage and divorce and stuff, and I said, well, I said usually it's both people's fault. You just rock with whoever you close to, right? So if you're on the groom side, you're gonna blame the other person. I think recently I got recently
No, that's
in a
not what I'm
room.
saying, Diabolical. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If they fuck with you, but and us going back and forth, I'm literally sticking to the topic, and because you can't challenge or go against what I'm saying, you start attacking me. But I don't return the attack. Whether they fuck with you or not, it processed enough for them to realize you can't fuck with what he's saying. That's why you're attacking him. Not saying at that point they're going to turn against you, but you're not going to see them get in a position where they're trying to protect you at this point. Because at that point, now it looks like a bully move. And at the end of the day, bullies normally don't move with protection. Bullies are the ones that keep everybody in line. They fuck with the bully because they don't want to get bullied. You see what
Oh,
I'm
okay, I
saying?
see what you're saying now. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, now that everybody's gone, what's y'all's genuine take on that situation?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say it's similar to what happened with me the other day. Um, I don't know what I know. Clarity, he be knowing all these words. I don't know what to call it, but basically, you know how somebody makes like a rally cry, like when we was talking about the whole toxic masculinity, right? And I simply out of everything I said we should all stick together. But that other person that got mad and left the room made it seem like I was gaslighting and dismissing toxic masculinity and use suggestive language as if I'm okay with guys being toxic towards women, which some people, because of their background and what happened to them, could then say he's probably a guy that's okay with a man abusing a woman, right? And I kind of feel like in a way that's kind of what I'm gonna do a rally cry because what she's trying to do is attack fat women, and so we're gonna pull together to defeat this person instead of listening to the actual argument. And I just it's just what happens when people get hit. You don't know you're hitting them. You're just throwing a rock out in the dark. An idea, and they just hit dog collar.
Well, the call a spade is spade. A lot of times when people are triggered, when you speak and a person is triggered, they don't hear everything. Pretty Kelly could have said whatever she wanted after she was triggered. She didn't hear anything Pretty Kelly said, but outside of being triggered. Once you're triggered, your defense mechanism go off, and you don't give a fuck about what else they got to say. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're not looking for clarity. You're looking to defend yourself or defend whatever it is you're looking to defend. So regardless of Pretty Kelly coming off the mic and said, "Well, you didn't hear everything else," she in her book, I didn't need to hear it everything else because I was already triggered by what you said. So because I was triggered by what you said, if you notice, and I say this to people all the time, you have to be a genuine listener. And what happens is, in listening from a genuine position, you get clear communication and understanding of and the response you get. So when anytime I got to say, well, no, I didn't say that, that lets me know either an individual was triggered or they shifted into listening to respond and not listening to understand. And you can get that when you pay attention to their response, because their response will tell you that. If and your response to it, I'll let you know that. So, Pretty Kelly at that point, Pretty Kelly got triggered too, and a response because she felt as though she's attacked. She was attacked, and you know by default she was attacked because Shorty went in the defense mode. So from then on out, it's war. It's nothing else to talk with us. There's nothing else to talk about. So that's why what we watched was actual war. You feel what I'm saying? Because now it's only right once you go into defense mode, you're responding from a defense mode. So if I'm responding from a defense mode by default, you're going to feel attacked. So it's only right you return the favor. So now at this point, somebody either got to shut the fuck up and roll out, or somebody got to intervene to drop clarity on the table. And a lack of ownership at that point is on the parties. But now that lack of ownership will be exposed to where as though now it's okay to be deliberate. And that's what happened. It was like once they took ownership of it, this is when it was kept the continuance reverting back to the conversation and allowing those emotions to resurface. Now we can go back to that same conversation after it's a clear understanding, and as long as we keep emotions off the table, we can build from that situation itself. But because they wasn't able to do that, this is why I kept reporting back to ground zero.
You know what? This is the part that surprised me the most. And when I was young, I used to always go to the skating ring, and these girls got into a fight, and so you had two girls versus like two, three other girls. The two, the two girls, they're fighting together, fighting these other girls, and the one girl ends up hitting her own friend with a skate because she's swinging this skate around wildly. Now, my point with this is that's what I saw happen today. That was the funniest part to me. Is that both of them going into attack mode and they ended up attacking each other. And Pumpkin gets mad and says, that's why you was in my back channel calling her a hating ass hoe. And that's what shocked me because Golden always sits in this room. You would never think a person harbors feelings like, and that's scary to me to think that. When we talking to each other and being cool, and this person feels that way. That's why I had to call it out. I'm like, I ain't gonna let that, we're not gonna gloss over that.
But
Hey,
wait a minute,
hey,
Doc
hey,
Bob. That shit you talking about happens.
real quick. Which one of y'all niggas is Kelly husband or some shit?
That's irrelevant, bro. Even if
No,
it,
no, 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 no. No, it's very relevant because y'all be kicking me out of rooms and like niggas be acting like holier than that when we.
well, kick him out of this one. Get the fuck out of here, boss. The fuck. I said it was irrelevant, nigga. The fuck, tighten up. But again, diabolical. The catch is what you see on this app, and that's why it fucks me up when people had them conversations with that whole, oh, this is just the app. No, 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 this is real life, buddy. This is real life for your ass. Because what you do is shit you catch in the long run, you catch right in your face up close immediately. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that clown motherfucker you won't be around in the streets, and it's like, I would never hang around this motherfucker. You're literally right in this motherfucker face on. Motherfuckers you would part in your back and excuse, I'm not trying to hear this shit and leave standing there, is now on a stage with you. So a lot of the personalities you would avoid on the street, on this Clubhouse app, you got to be face to face with. So that shit that happened with Golden and Pretty Kelly, That's some shit that normally happen in day-to-day life. It's up close and personal right in your face on here. You understand what I'm saying? That homie that you thought was your homie that bites you in your back. It might take a year or two for that to catch on, or God forbid that the longevity of seeing that because you're so blinded by it. But then you got the act where your snakes is right in your face. And it only takes them to get triggered to expose their hand, but you don't have that emotional attachment you normally have to that friend in society or in, as they would say on Clubhouse, in real life. So where you would overlook his bite, his first bite, it's exposed on here. And it's not exposed because you see it, it's exposed because others spot it immediately. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about it. She said that to Pretty Kelly, but she didn't say it to Pretty Kelly. She said it to somebody else that exposed her hand. You see what I'm saying? So in real life, think about it. In the streets, the same situation would have happened, but now let's say Jay would have said this to Diabolical, but Pretty Kelly doesn't know that Jay said this to Diabolical because of the distance between the parties. There's no distance here. So it's an immediate response. Like, hold the fuck up, cuz.
That's so whack though. Like when I tell you I've been on this app for years with a lot of people, and for them to act weird now, like I never disrespected these people. Shit, Diabolical can attest to this. Pumpkin has been acting wild now for about a week, 2 weeks. I never said nothing to this girl. But people hold that shit like, bro, just be direct with me. Like, Diabolical could tell you if I got a problem with somebody, I'm gonna tell them directly, like, yo, I don't like you. I think you're a fucked up person. I think you're weird. I think you're disgusting. Whatever the case may be. And I'm ready for the blowback. But I'm never gonna sit here and be like, hey girl, what's up? And I don't like you. That's never gonna happen. So when people do that shit to me, it's like, oh man. I don't know, bro.
Well, we also got to remember, your objective is to catch it. Like, that's just what it is. I don't look for everybody to. I'm a genuine individual. I mean, for those that knew me on here, I've been on here since Clubhouse started. And for everybody that you'll ever see me talk to that's known me for years, I've been who I am. I've just grown in being a better and stronger, more mature who I am. But I've always been who I am. And what it does is allow me to respect. I appreciate one showing me their true colors so I can paint the perfect picture. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not looking for you to be If you're not genuine, don't be If you's a snake, be the biggest and strong, be the anaconda out this motherfucker. My job isn't to stop you from being an anaconda. My job is to identify the anaconda. That's it. Because what it allows me to do now is maneuver and move properly around the anaconda. So I'm not so it doesn't piss me off. I'm more so appreciated because what you did was offer me something I didn't have to fight to figure out now.
I think too what confused me about Pumpkin, because she's like she's just trolling and playing with us. I'm like, when have you heard us playing with each other like that in this room? Like, like we don't do that. I don't.
No, Diabolical, to that statement you just made, I want you to notice how when motherfuckers is losing the argument and being disrespectful, that's they weak ass cop out on this ad. And she wasn't trolling. She didn't say she was trolling until pretty backed into that corner and she really had to expose her hand. And the shift was now to, I was just trolling, but since you want to be serious, nah, you would say, we been serious, bitch. Don't switch up on me now.
You right, because it sounded like a cop out. I'm like, it ain't no way. Because she been coming in here
Hola.
attacking like every day. What's up, Breezy? She been coming in here attacking me like every damn day. And it's hard for me to go back and forth because I just can't really cuss women out like that. I
Hey,
just
call it Muhammad Ali, and that was the rope a dope, bro.
it was that, that was the most bizarre thing in my life. That nobody knew she was fat. Nobody knew it. I assure you, we didn't know.
We didn't know.
But I'm glad she PTR because now we do.
Well, you got to think about it. You got. Let's not just leave it there at the fat thing. It was what Pretty Kelly said a lot of things besides the fat thing that really pissed her off, bro. Like we gonna keep it 100 now. We not gonna keep talking this fat joint because when she did the fat single mother, she was going in on the shit, man. And Shorty was hurting over there.
Wait.
So yeah, we ain't gonna. Hey, Pretty, I was
That
tuned
didn't
in. I
happen
was
until
tuned in.
after the disrespect. I didn't say that from the beginning, bro. I didn't bring up the single mom shit from the beginning.
So who are y'all talking about, or am I have to listen to these replays?
Oh yeah, the replays is on because I opened the room.
Okay, so y'all not gonna tell me, or I need to listen to the replays?
Well, wait, hey, Diabot, that's why. That's
We
why
talking
you
about
notice
pumpkin.
I upset at the situation. I didn't know I triggered the situation. Pretty Kelly said, "Are we going to talk? Do you know what the delusional thing? The people saying they fat, the fat people saying they skinny." And I said, "Yeah, I'll be cool with agreeing with them." And we call that the bid up here. When they so skinny, I say, "Man, you so skinny I can't even see you." And then when I muted, I think that's when she came off the mic like, "Oh, we ain't doing that." But I think she
Oh
attacked Pretty.
yeah.
Yeah, she attacked Pretty Kelly because she set off the mindset for me to throw it back at the situation. But I was just saying we call it a bid over here because you can agree with a delusional individual. It'd just be comedy because we bidding on you now. Because you was a fat motherfucker talking about you skinny. So you fucking right. You so skinny I can't even see you out this motherfucker. And it was like, I guess Pumpkin was like, well, wait a goddamn minute. And, and that's when the shit was like,
I still, you know what? But at least look, Phil said she looked good though. So hey,
Oh yeah,
yeah, Phil said she looked it good. He said he liked it.
Liked it, looked it is crazy.
He
well,
liked it.
wait a minute. Don't just talk about Phil, because also remember Golden came off the mic and was like, "You're a pretty girl. You are pretty," and that's the shit they say to fat motherfuckers, man.
got a cute face.
Let's be honest, man. That's what they say to these
She
fat
she is
motherfuckers
pretty
out
though.
there.
She
Oh,
is
you
pretty.
so
Is
pretty.
that right?
Come on, all that picture from the neck up with the camera damn near touching your face mixed me with that shit.
My
Pretty sure I've
misogynist
seen her
friend is
before, and she's not unattractive.
so
I'm
yeah, so
gonna say
my
this again.
misogynist
The
friend is
PTR
right.
she had was the camera damn near right up on her face. So all that I can't call you pretty when you ain't get a camera enough room to expose shit.
You hit that breezy?
And when the argument was going on, she did not show no picture of herself. She kept that
This is
same close
she.
ass picture to her face. And I'm trying to figure out how you calling a female pretty you can barely fucking see in the camera.
You hit that breeze?
You said,
When
"Oh,
Main
did
Man
I
came
hit
off
that?
the
Oh
mic
no."
and was like, she's a pretty girl, I went back to the PTR because I thought she changed her picture. When I went back to her PTR and realized she didn't change her picture, I wanted to come off the mic and ask him what the fuck was he looking at. But then that would have made me a target, and I was trying to stay out the motherfucking way.
Do you think it's like a miserable bitches unite type of situation where like women who has came in and left to be single mothers like unite and come together towards the women that actually took their time and got married and had babies?
I don't know. Do
I'm
you think
abundant.
pick me's will ever be picked? Do you think out of all the hood rat alley cats that you'd ever be picked pretty? Pick
No, I
Misha,
don't think pick
Kelly?
me's ever get picked, but I think women who take their time and
Then
get
you should look in
married,
the mirror and just pray to
um,
God that a nigga will
get
even
married.
think about nutting on your
Yeah,
nose again, bitch.
that's the
You
thing.
are
No, I'm
despicable
married. You
and the
aren't.
scum of
You
the
let a
earth
man come in
whores.
you, sis, right? And he left you.
Wait, what's
That
happening?
reality be hitting hard.
Did she
Did
leave
y'all
or you
kick her
kicked
out the
I
her?
room,
didn't.
or did she leave on
Unbearable.
her own?
Oh, she ain't got her phone ain't charged up. I
Oh,
hate when she
I didn't
does
kick out
that. She
the room.
starts arguments and then her phone dies.
But
Like
no,
she's fucking irritating.
I don't particularly like that people think that it's just like, oh, well, I did this and I did this and I did this. It's not always that simple. Like a lot of people could have done, I guess the quote unquote right thing and be miserable and end up divorced, would have had the same outcome. So it's like one of those things. If you don't find the fucking right person, it don't matter how you do it. You didn't find the fucking right person.
Yeah, no, but that's not how it
Yeah,
works.
that
So
wasn't the
if
conversation.
women, yeah, not at all. But speaking to that, if women and men actually take their time and get to know a person and decide, hey, there's no benefit in me fucking this person before marriage. There's no way for a baby to come about. So if you take your time, you get married first, and then you have children, of course it can end in divorce. Of course crazy things could happen, but you're in a way better situation than being a fucking single mom, right?
I don't know that to be true. I met my child's father in the ninth grade. In the fucking ninth grade.
And then you got
We
Still
married, and then
together?
what happened?
no, we didn't get
Oh, see,
married.
that's what I'm
And by
saying.
the
But that's what I said, included in my
let
speech.
let me finish. I mean, we could
No,
have.
but you didn't.
I'm the one that
That's the
put her.
problem.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was like, oh yeah, this ain't it. So like it's like one of those things. You can think you know somebody until certain situations. And this is just what happens in life. Certain situations will come up in your life, and then people change. Just because you think you know somebody for year one, two, three, four, don't mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't mean not. It just doesn't work that way all the time. And I think that by getting married first, obviously that's ideal. That I wouldn't recommend that anybody do it, without getting married first. But what I'm saying is, it's just one of those things. You got to pick the right person. It's one of the most important decisions that you will make in your life, and everybody's not all the wiser. What works for 1, 2, 3, 4 don't work for 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just all in. Once you are in different situations in life, people are going to change. People are going to grow. They grow together, grow apart, or they learn, how to resolve the issues and keep growing. It's one of those things. So I just
Yeah,
personally
I hear
don't
that.
think. One second, I'll end it right here. I just don't think it's that black and white, or more people would have the ability to do it. It's not like baking a cake.
Yeah, so the problem is I don't think you heard my submission, but I agree with Luke. But what it's about is really just taking your time, right? And again, getting married and then having sex. If you're gonna have sex beforehand, it's just silly. If car dealerships, right, allowed you to take the car and just do what you want with it and hoped and prayed that you was gonna come back and decide to purchase, they'd be out of business. So the same thing works in real life, right? So I think if people just take their time, you get to know a person. Either you're going to figure out they're for you or they're not. If marriage is your price, then that's what you sell for. Don't go on sale, and then it'll work out. And if it doesn't work out, you're in the best position possible, as opposed to being left with a child and nothing and embarrassment and failure. I think that's a bad move.
I mean, but people get married and have kids, and usually, and I don't know about like any numbers on this, but usually it's going to be within the first 5 years. People get married, then they have children. What a blessing. But that 7-year itch and that 10-year mark is a real thing. So,
Yeah, but having a child is like it's deeper than marriage. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And in most relationships you get in, there's going to be some kind of problems. So I mean, it's easier said than done, and it's a learned behavior. So I understand.
But and what
But
Pretty Kelly said, no matter how you cut the cheese, The ending of her submission was talking about being better off. So if they're
Mm,
getting better off,
oh, I don't know that to be true. And that's the thing. Like, it depends on what you come in with, you know? Like, y'all both come, I mean, y'all just gonna leave what y'all came in with and be co
What's
parents.
best for the child, though? You know, that's the big. That's
I mean, but what's best for any situation that has a child in it that the parents choose to dissolve the relationship is that they co parent. Outside of that, it would be what we all know it to be mom, dad, stay together, grow up in the same house. We all know that, duh. So to have that discussion, that's asinine. But
I
after
don't think
that,
it's asinine
I mean,
because
but
you want your child to
I
have
under,
the best.
oh,
No,
but if we already know that this is the number one pick, that's obviously what the best thing is. I
so why
mean,
aren't
mom,
people obviously doing what's best for their kids and doing it the right
it's
way?
it don't work out.
it's a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior, though. You know
I
what I mean?
don't
It's a
think
learned behavior.
it is. I don't really think it is. I truly don't. I just have a difference of opinion on that. I just think that people don't work out. I've seen people be married for 20 years, and for the life of me, I don't know why they would choose to get a divorce then. Like, nigga, y'all might as well just ride this one out. But
well, I got a
it
question.
happened.
If you have a child, if you're with a man for let's say 10 years and you have a child, and you had a child, you got a child. I'm not getting to going that deep into the shit. And you had a boyfriend for 10 years and y'all have a child. Is the dynamic still the same because both y'all are still in the house, or is the dynamic different between two people being boyfriend and girlfriend and living together with a child than a husband and wife living together with their child? Is the
Hey,
dynamic still the same?
Me
for the
personally,
child. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. I was
I
just
feel I
talking.
feel for the child's development. Uh, Marriage is blessed, but it really doesn't matter as long as both parents are in the under the same roof. You know.
Hold on,
Now,
I
because I
explain me
disagree.
why
wanted
it
to
really
answer as
doesn't
well.
matter.
I wanted to answer as well. So I think the whole
Or
idea of it all, it depends on what y'all build together, and what you show the child. But it's like one of these things. Cohabitation, the fact that a child gets to see mommy and daddy every day, a child get to see how mommy and daddy interact with each other every day, how they teamwork and partnership and show up for that child, how they love on one another, and how they do things. um yeah, I mean, outside of what you guys build together and the legalities of it all, I mean, children don't know that much about legality until they going through the family court system. You know what I mean? Or they're in that system. But I think it's the y'all know what word I'm trying to use. Um, like sharing the same habitat and working together and what that looks like. Because and I know that this is gonna probably be, not the best alternative, obviously. But what good is it if you see mommy and daddy hate each other every day?
that's not the quote we're at. And
I'm telling you my
um,
opinion, sir. This is my
right,
opinion, and
I
that's my
get you.
answer to the question. That is what I think. I gave you my opinion. It's that simple. I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
arguing
change my
with you,
opinion.
but
So yeah, it's not this is my opinion of what I think, you
But
know?
when Uncle Runica come in, it's like a gamble. You hoping for the best too, though. You
and I
feel what I'm
wanted
saying?
to ask you a
So,
question and get submission as well, Lou, but I done lost the question now, bro. I be trying to flow with the shit. Like,
I mean, I
the
thought your question
next question
was,
to the situation was literally going to be how do you show this child what true commitment is if you're not willing to operate from a true commitment standpoint? What does that look like? Since
giving up.
really asking
Look, look,
because that simultaneously y'all saying it's the same thing, and I'm trying to see how because two people operating under the same roof is one thing, and I get it. We showing a child how mother and father operate, but now what happens when it's time for him to show the child what commitment look like? How do you do that without operating in it?
well, that's what I'm saying. If the, I guess, lifelong um boyfriend girlfriend situation rides off into the sunset, ideally how we would hope that marriage does until death does them part, that would show that commitment. I know people's parents who they never got married for some odd reason, but they was together. They whole motherfucking life still together. They committed more than, people that, got together, broke up, even though at a certain point it seemed more ideal, like, well, their parents are married. This is what you're supposed to do and everything like that. And then that divorce was ugly. So, I mean, it's all in what actually happens that you weigh it. But if these things happened, like until death do you part, I don't think that there will be any difference. The problem is when any family dissolves at the end of the day.
And the reason why I'm saying, and this is why I'm saying stick to the question, because what happens is we're trying to use the negative to create a narrative to get away from the question while acting simultaneously giving off the impression we're answering the question. So I'm talking about how do you show a child commitment and the process of not acting in commitment, and then the response is, well, I done seen some ugly divorces. I'm not asking about the divorce thing. I
You
get
can't
that list. What I'm
you can't
asking,
show
how do you show somebody something that you're not operating in while simultaneously operating in it?
you can't.
It's
But
like
you're operating in it.
it's like, in other words, it's no different than me watching an individual say, where what they call it, sex buddies or friends with
Cuddy
benefits.
Buddy
And
said,
what I see is individuals willing to take on the position without the title,
right.
and then the lack of ownership to the title leaves that door open for that freedom. So if that's true on that end, we can't all simultaneously eradicate that same thing when we're talking about the boyfriend and girlfriend that has a child and they stay together forever, but they're not willing to truly lock in and be committed. So when a child is like, why don't y'all ever get married? And you kick the, well, we don't believe in marriage, or you give up this lame ass excuse for not willing to take on the full commitment of the title. We want to act. We want to bleed. We want to do the husband and wife thing, but we don't want to take on a husband and wife title. So it has nothing to do with being divorced. It has nothing to do with the ugly side of things don't work out, but everything to do with showing proof of how these things are working, and you're convincing them they're working without owning the title to the workmanship that's being created.
I don't know. I just
I
look
like
at
the way I broke that down too.
I
My
think no,
that
I
was
like well, this is my
Not
opinion.
bad, not bad, not
I
bad.
think a failure is a failure. So like if you have a baby with somebody and y'all don't stay together forever, that's a failure. Period. Cut and dry. However you want to put it, whether you got married first or you didn't get married, it's a failure. Your family failed. Period. There's nothing else around it.
Because you can dissolve a marriage. You can't divorce them kids though.
Yeah, but if you break up
You
your
know,
family, that's a failure. Your family that you
See, but I'm not talking about the dissolving of no marriage.
That's
Breezy's
what I'm
creating
talking about. This is what I
that
keep
shit,
on
bro.
telling you. I think this is my
She keeps creating.
opinion.
I'm not talking
This is
anything
my
about anything
opinion.
dissolving.
I think it is one
I'm
and the
not saying
same. I
anything
keep on
like
telling
that.
you, this is what I believe. I think it's one and the same. So you don't
I
think it's one and the
agree.
same. I can understand where you're coming from, but I'm telling you, I don't think that way.
Well, we can
That's all
talk
I'm
about
saying.
the breakup. Well, let's talk about the breakups, right? Because people bring them up all the time. And Breezy, I know earlier you said it's not like baking a cake. Actually, it kind of is. I think people, we're living in society now where people um, people say all the time, like, you can do what you want to do, it doesn't matter. And I think people have adopted that philosophy. And I think essentially when it comes to these relationships, people put the cart in front of the horse and they wonder why the relationship doesn't work out. And they chalk it up to, well, hey, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, as if your choices don't lead to a consequence. Like, I was listening to this young lady and she was talking about how her and her baby daddy, well, she was on the Kendra G show, and I was watching, me and my wife watch it sometimes. And she said, oh, I have a 3-year-old child. And Kendra G said, oh, with the father, did y'all get married or anything like that? And she said no. And she said, well, why not? Everything that she listed as to why she did not marry that man was the exact reason why she should have never had a child with him in the first place. And it's like my brother, he's married now. But I remember I had to have a conversation with him because him and his girlfriend was living together. and they had a baby, and then the relationship started falling apart. And so I'm talking to him, and I said, "Hey, bro," I said, "it's because you're doing things the wrong way." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you got her living with you. She done pushed out this baby. You don't think that she's starting to wonder when you're gonna pop the question? Now, if you're not careful, y'all gonna begin to resent each other. She's gonna begin to resent you because it's like you had to pop out this baby, but what what's supposed to come next, And I remember he actually ended up calling me. He said, "Hey, bro, you was right. I want to talk to her." And then after that, they got engaged and got married. And I think when people are having these relationships, they're doing everything ass backwards, moving in with each other, having kids. People are harboring resentment against each other, and they wonder why the relationship didn't work out. And then when the relationship falls apart, they go, "Oh, well, see, I'm glad I didn't marry them." Well, if you would have did things the right way, then your relationship probably would have worked out. And so that's really the real reason why a lot of these relationships fall apart. It's not because people are good or bad or anything like that. It's just people don't know how to operate in the relationships. And then that gets passed down because if you never really operated in a real relationship or in a marriage and you're just popping out these kids, how are you teaching these kids anything? You're just passing along these fucked up relationships that we got.
Yeah, I just strongly disagree. Um, I think that by doing things in the quote unquote quote right way, I think that creates maybe a little bit more of like something to fight for. Like, not only is your family breaking up, not only can you gonna lose your marriage. And I think that there's a lot of shame that comes along with losing your marriage. That's another failure. I think that it by making that covenant to God, that's a failure to God, okay? Now you failed one another. Now you failed your kids and your family members that you made this covenant around. Like, I think that that's just an extra layer that might make you I don't know, think a little bit longer, think a little bit harder, more to lose, more at stake, more shame, maybe something like that. But that's just the way that I perceive it.
Do you think the shame is the same though? As I mean, I think there's a big difference from a woman coming from a divorce where they know they did things the right way. I just think it's different. It's I think it's just going to be a bit different from a woman that feels like she got played, she wasted her time, she had this guy's kid, he never asked her to marry her. He play. I think it's just going to be a totally different feeling from somebody that gets divorced. They might
Mm,
both be hurt, but I think it's going to be a different
I
kind
don't.
of.
So this is the thing. Um, I personally don't think so. But then again, I wouldn't know. Never gotten a divorce. You see what I'm saying? So I can't speak on what that actually feels like versus having a child out of wedlock. I don't have that experience. So I can't really speak on something that of what that truly feels like, everything that entails and everything like that. So I just can't even really answer that.
Well, I can't explain it, but I've had a child out of wedlock, and I remember having when I had kids with my wife, it felt different. It felt like hey, I'm supposed to be doing this. I was happy to have all my kids. I love them all the same, but it just felt a little bit different. The vows, the covenant, it being with my wife, um, it felt different.
Did
The
y'all get a
difference.
divorce?
No, we didn't get a divorce.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like the different dynamics of what goes on with relationships, they feel different. Then it's just like some people feel like, oh, if you're just living with a boyfriend or girlfriend, if you ask some people, people will tell you, hey, they feel like they're shacking up, but it feels different when they're living with their husband or wife. You know.
but see, that was one, like, we was planning on all of that and everything, and then obviously we did things out of order, and it was like, okay, we all need to make this right. And then I was just like, okay, that is a possibility. But after like sitting down and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, we done rushed into one thing. We was trying to, do it this way. I don't think we should rush into the second thing. You know what I mean? Just because we rushed into this doesn't mean all of a sudden we should alter all of the other plans and all of the other time and all of this other stuff that I think that maybe we would have been able to iron out. I'm not sure because it didn't happen. So that's one thing that I wouldn't be able to speak on because I've never had that other experience. I've only had the experience of having a child out of wedlock and then being married now and then trying to plan for a family. Well, not planning for a family, trying to get pregnant. So I've only had that, and then that not working out. Never had that. God forbid. God don't do that to me.
I think people are scared of that. They're petrified of the worst case scenarios, and they dwell on that, and that just cripples people's ability.
Why you think people are more afraid of just marriage, right? And you get a divorce, right? Like you get married. If you go quick enough, you get annulment. You get divorced, but they're not afraid of actually making a life that's here. Like you gonna get up in the morning, you gotta go in there. You gotta feed them. It's 18 years. You taking care of this person. You marry somebody, go, oops, 2 years, get rid of them. Y'all ain't really gonna be splitting nothing, but you can't do it with a kid. I just be thinking like, and this is not a judgment on anybody. Like even me, I remember doing it. I can't even um understand that thought. It's like how quickly, like, we're okay. We'll bring the life, right?
I don't
Uh,
think there's any thought, unfortunately, and again, this is not to anybody, but it's so much that you have to know to not know the basics of your partner, right? How many women have kids by a man and don't know his blood type? Insane. How many women know? That's why we have kids named shit like Anthony. What is his name? Anthony Hardaway, whatever his name is. Anthony. His father's name was Anthony. But because you didn't get to know this man and you wasn't married to his name, you actually misspelled this nigga's name as trying to make him a junior? That's fucking insane. But I bet you if I ask you his zodiac sign, you could tell me that. That's nuts, right? But if we
And
take our time, marry the individual. When marriage is put on you, you have so much to think about before you fucking walk away. So much to consider before you just say, right? But when there's no commitment, when there's no nothing, it's very easy to just walk out the door.
hey, but this is the options culture. You know, this is the grass is greener culture. You know, we can't refer to traditional ways of thinking because that's over with. So it's like we have to like the adults are cooked. I feel like the children have to be taught something new. A new way of thinking has to be introduced, or else the cycle's going to keep repeating over and over again. Like it's crazy.
You don't think the kids are cooked too? Because the kids are being taught by the adult or taught by the adults. Look in the chat. A woman who can barely spell, a woman who could barely articulate her words is teaching a child. What type of future do you think that child has?
I mean, people have been having kids since forever, though. Like I'm not talking. I'm not concerned about that. I mean, I am because like a knowledge and an education is, it's a disadvantage. But I'm just talking about the importance of family building, right? Like people have people have sex just for fun. Like that's a thing. Like my mom taught me. She said, "Don't bring no ugly babies home." Like when I was a little kid, I was like, "What the fuck does she mean?" As I got older, I understood that. So like that worked. That resonated with me. You gotta teach a child about family building because they're tricking us out of our families. That's what they're doing effectively.
I think that's difficult for people, if I'm being honest, because they didn't come from that. If you don't come from a two-parent home, if both of your parents aren't stable, etc., I guess it's hard to go off of that. And you probably think, well, my mom did it, or my single dad did it, so I can do it, and, right? But you don't
Right,
consider the balance and the importance of that balance. So I don't know.
right. And the elders teach the youth this madness as well.
That I think like everything else said. That's why I've always and I'm gonna stick to it. I just when people talk about competing, I just this is why I just don't think dating is a competition. There's no clear trophy. There's no clear goal line. I it's just not. If you see competitive competition in any other species, only those who are qualified get to procreate and move us along to the future.
But they compete though.
And we're
They
so
compete.
fat.
They compete, and they, you know what I mean. Like I heard you saying, like it's not like a race, but you have to always be evolving though. Like if you get complacent, or if you settle into a routine and you're not, you know what I'm saying. And that's important because, like you said, the young bucks is they gonna test you. They want the throne. So you gotta, you have to always be, you know what I mean, a step ahead some kind of way. You have to be, I mean, this is my understanding. You have to try to progress at least.
Shmelly had an awesome idea about having a license to procreate. You should share that, Shmelly. If that was the case, I think that would turn this whole thing around.
It'd be so many
Mm,
license lost.
I don't think, but see, this is the whole thing. I don't believe in that. I think that that's just another way to like be more divisive of certain things. Like, what is it going to be, like an IQ score? Of course, I would think, I would hope that the IQ score is above 89, just in
But
general.
wait, why don't we listen to Shmelly and hear what his plan
Oh,
was?
I
Because
didn't
we don't
know.
know.
I didn't know that that person was on the
Oh yeah, they're
stage.
here.
Go ahead, Smelly, drop that shit.
Oh, yeah, Breezy. I'm smelly. Um, basically, like with anything else, one part of it would be finances, right? You're not allowed to just go and get a house. You're not allowed to just go get a car. And none of these things are as important as human life. So, um, you would have to financially be stable. There'll be a background check for that, as well as having living in having adequate home living space. There'll be some look into your educational background. You have to go, psychologically be tested, things of that nature to see if you're capable of raising a child.
So
And
so
That's not,
disadvantaged
but
people will not have
those
kids.
things are, none of those things are necessarily qualifiers. And I only say that because you could have a place to stay or a house. That's not hard. Okay, that's not hard. You can have, education. Having a degree or some form of education doesn't make you intelligent. You can have.
oh, I didn't tell you the last part, Breezy.
Oh, okay.
And you'd have to be married.
Okay, so that would be the contender that would, be, I would think, the most feasible or the most
Easy thing.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most important way to prevent this problem, the most, like, the thing that will yield the most result, because it's not hard to get a car. It's not hard to get a house. It's not hard to necessarily get some form of a trade or education. It's not even necessarily hard to get, a place of employment, thanks to the good old boy system. So, who would you be mostly disenfranchising in all of these things? People that
Hey,
are lower socioeconomic class group, and who would that usually be? So basically, you're saying, like, based off of all of America, if that was to be implemented, who do you think would be impacted the most?
Hey,
And who do you think
I think I
you
think we gotta Miss Michelle had a great point. Similar qualifiers needed for adopting a child should be in place to make one. Hello.
hey, but
Nah,
that,
Thank you for putting that in the chat.
but
nah,
that's kind of like what's happening already, though. That's kind of like
adopting a
that.
please.
Go
That's
ahead, go ahead.
I don't know. I think that's different. Only and the only reason why I'm just saying I think that's a little bit different, and this is gonna sound a little bit messed up. I love all children, but I particularly love my child more than I love all children.
As you should.
I would say so. I don't know if that's gonna be like how that works either, but I get it. I mean, I think a mental health check because some people I don't think that they're um stable enough for it, especially if you just watch the news. Um, I think that some people they don't have necessarily like they don't necessarily have the support, but I think like even having the proper support should be put on there. But that'll eliminate a lot of black people from having children because let's be very clear, we come from a long line of broken families, so a lot of people don't have that support. So it just, I mean, hey, if that's what, everybody wanted to vote on, I just know with us being at the lowest, like, well, not the lowest, but the second lowest socioeconomic class, it's going to affect us. So, I mean, if we're into decreasing our population as we are already seeing a lack of population growth, if black people want to vote on that and they think it's a great idea,
Hey, but as you can see, that has never been implemented in history because it's a natural, it's like breathing. You know? But you know what I'm saying, population control, they do population control to this day though. So they thinking like that diabolical.
Now I think that we would actually do better. It sounds harsh because of where we are right now, and it would be uncomfortable at first. But once people see the results and it becomes the norm, people will be okay with it, right? I know that people fail because they put the cart before the horse. But if I make it to where you have to go ahead, get your education, make sure you are financially stable, make sure you're married, make sure you go through the counseling, families, people will come together because they want to procreate and they want to have kids and it's important to them. It won't stop them. All it's going to do is make them do it the right way. That's it.
Well,
Everything I
well,
named,
question, Doc,
um,
question. What is the penalty or punishment of doing it the wrong way? Because let's be very clear. There has to be some type of recourse of action or a penalty or a punishment or shoot, we got
a consequence.
jail now and people still break the law. You know what I mean? So what is the penalty or punishment that would be implemented then?
Everybody in jail. Everybody locked up.
Locked up with the babies or the babies all go to the foster
It's
care system or like
it's
what do you
spring.
do
but
then?
I
Hey,
think no child support and no government benefits would be best.
yep,
I think that would be
that'll
sufficient.
help. That'll help. That'll help because it cripples people. You know what I'm saying? They get dependent on doing nothing and getting a
But
reward.
everybody
I
don't
agree with
need
that.
that. That's the whole thing. Like, yeah, I don't see it that way. Again, maybe I'm just being a
No, it's
contrarian,
not.
but
It's not realistic. It's not feasible because you can't. They got driving
and
laws
for
and
all
people
the
still
other
break.
stuff of when people do it anyway,
Yeah,
then what?
people get
and
driving
I would put
citations. They
in
got felonies. Yeah,
I would put in mandatory birth control.
Yeah. So sterilization.
yeah.
No,
Population control.
birth control.
But
My
that's what
steroid.
you don't understand, and
You
they've
sound like Elon
studies
Musk.
on this, and this is just something they've done studies on this. As people take that longer and longer, it reduces their ability to be able to have kids. Not only is it just dangerous, it's not working for everybody's bodies. Not only that, even though we can even have the conversation that there have been over 23 types, how many have in each of these been recalled? Because we know when we go to our OBGYN that Implanon is now, or Nexplanon is now Implanon. We know it was Yasmin and then it became Yaz. We know, and it's the same thing, but they got so many freaking class action lawsuits on the shit that
Hey, diabolical.
they had to shut it down, revamp it, and re-release it. So even if we're talking about these mandatory things, even the depot shot got a class action lawsuit, and y'all know how many people was on that.
Hey, I was
Yeah, but I think, hold on one second. I think when you relinquish accountability, you relinquish control. So if you just can't control giving birth, if you just can't control getting married before you have sex, then you get birth control, right? You need something else, a pill, a shot, an implant to control you. So now you are at the mercy of that thing. If that thing gives you cancer, oh well, that's what you chose to control what you couldn't when you relinquished accountability. Deal with whatever that comes with. Fair?
y'all sound like the government.
Disagree.
Y'all sound like the government and the
Yeah, I
diabolical
disagree.
plans that they put into play and
I disagree
execute.
because I think that if that's the case, then I mean, shoot, I guess, well, vasectomies for all, birth control for all. Sounds good. Sounds good. If that's what everybody would like to implement, that once you have, that you decide to break the rules, you have to get a vasectomy, a reversible one, of course, but we know that that doesn't always work out. And then that the woman, I don't know what they would do. Maybe it's not a tube tying process, but some tube clamps, and pray that those work.
No, Breezy. I would just like to implement accountability for all, right?
That's what
Let's
I'm
all acknowledge
saying. When
that
you're
we are the ones in control and we make decisions and we are ready to stand for whatever the consequences are for our own decisions. I think then the world would be a beautiful place,
But
no?
this is
Kelly,
the thing.
everyone doesn't have
Well,
your
I don't
your
know how much more accountable you can be than this didn't work out. Now we know that people that have children out of wedlock, usually on the socioeconomic ladder, they're lower because the money just is not stretching as far. They have daycare, they have other bills. We already know these things. So when we're talking about accountability, it's just one of these things I love when we make these great ideas on how we can fix the problem. But the problem is not going to be fixed unless it's not even really a problem because we already have the solution. The solution is don't do it until you get married. That is really the only kind of like best way to um eliminate these, or not eliminate, but try to forego these negative
I,
outcomes.
So
That is
then
the
the
best thing,
accountability, to be fair, based on what
but
you
I'm
just
just
said,
saying that's
is
pretty much all you
proactive,
can
right?
do.
It's
That's all you
being
can.
proactive instead of
it's
reactive,
control. It's
right?
control.
No,
Yeah,
but you be proactive, right? So you don't have to think about it later and say, "Oh, I fucked up." No, no, no. Before any of that happens, this is when you should be thinking. And to be honest, with everybody knowing that this is what you should be doing, right? With many women and men having made a mistake and had a child out of wedlock, whatever the case may be, but to still be fucking people before marriage, it's like, oh, so you didn't get it. It's not that common of a sense because nobody seems to still get it. Fair?
But being proactive requires discipline, right? And discipline is a trained technique. Discipline is learned and exercised and strengthened. You know what I'm saying? So
Right
like,
behavior.
so it's like you put a rate a whole if every child if we start with every child getting the same education, I hear you, but every child doesn't isn't privy to the same education, same knowledge, same understanding about economics, emotions. You know what I'm saying? So like it sounds like slavery or like Jim
Communism?
Crow.
No, communism.
No, it's not. Y'all are failing to realize. We even during slavery we got married. And even during Jim Crow we got married. We were at one point the most married. And even in our most horrible conditions, we flourished because of our community. Our schools
Jumping
might have
over a
not,
broom
hold
isn't
on,
marriage.
hold on. Our schools may have not been as good as theirs. They might not have had the fresh paint, the nice floors, but our people were educated because we educated them because of our community. Everything that you're pointing out that's a problem, oh, they're not educated, that's because of the community is where it stands because we got babies having babies. These parents not taking care of their kids, don't care about them. My grandmother, some of my cousins, not my cousins through blood, my grandmother kept foster kids. Some of them found eating out of dumpsters at the age of 9, eating out of fucking dumpster. You know, discipline is not a learned behavior, contrary to what people believe. It can be in a community setting, but the origin of discipline is actually enforced. It's control. You take police off the streets and you see how much discipline people got. You take away your ADT alarm systems and see how much
Hence why I
control
brought up the parent.
discipline people got. They ain't got
But no,
much. We
That, that
got
that's that, that
laws
that's
enforcing it.
different. That's different. That's
That
different.
ain't it ain't different.
no,
It
because
ain't
yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna
different.
be anarchy.
discipline is something that you do on yourself.
No, it's gonna be
Discipline is a self.
no,
No.
no, no.
Yeah, it is.
Because this is
It
the thing.
gets to that point through community
Yeah.
because we set guidelines of how we are going to operate in
That's
society.
it's the personal
hmm
And
choice
then we
to better yourself. That's what
But
discipline
No,
comes in.
no, no,
diabolical,
no,
what I
no, no,
just
no.
said
Because
in the chat is they're
you
looking
still
for
have a carnal nature.
what they
But this is
what
the
you were saying, clarity.
what I just said in the chat is what we're hearing is people looking for a way to accept accountability without accepting the consequences that come with the accountability. Because no matter what corner you cut, the lack of the consequences induces a disrespect for the accountability. By default, we don't have to talk about discipline.
okay. So this is another point I wanted to make, and truly,
You are correct,
I
clarity.
truly don't believe this in my heart, soul, and spirit. But jumping over a broom, there's no legality in that. Even as we did that as slaves, there's no legality in that. So that circles back to the original point. On paper and I'm sorry, not on paper, but in society, they were considered not even boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I mean? But I guess you could call them boyfriend and girlfriend because there was no legality behind it. The commitment was there. The moral structure and value was there, even though they couldn't do it. That was there. That binding contract and that covenant between those two people was there. However, it wasn't binding.
Now they did it in the past, the Jim Crow era, and they did integration,
But you could get
and they
married
attacked.
in Jim Crow. You could actually get married legally in Jim Crow. I'm talking about way before that.
Yeah, I'm saying the family structure was there though. They didn't attack that until a little bit later, right? The family structure is the foundation. It's the power base. You know what I'm saying? If you destroy that, you have nothing. If you have no purpose, you have nothing. So like that's I mean this is my philosophy. Like we gotta somehow get these kids to understand family building. And like, it's
When
vital.
Diabolical spoke about the marriage part, he spoke about the marriage part back then and even now. Is because what it does is it induce and expose obligations. And when you're obligated to do something, you take a better and stronger approach to disciplining yourself because you understand what needs to be done. It also gives you awareness of the things you shouldn't be doing because you understand the consequences that comes with the obligation and how that disrupts the obligation. So it's not hard to take on. It's not even hard to understand. It's almost It's my head be hurting sometimes when I be listening to this shit, man, because this shit don't be as complicated as it be as people be trying to make it sound. And again, it's one trying to get around the situation and not own what needs to be done or looking for a pass somewhere in there to okay them doing the fuck shit. And
But
when they can't
clearly,
see, and all I'm saying, bro, is a lot. And I'm listening to the conversation, and it's like when you can't see a pass, it's like we gotta create one, give us one. We need it because we really don't want to stop doing the fuck shit.
I agree, but clearly it's a problem in our community, right? Clearly it's a problem. I'm not talking about me and my personal. I'm building a family. I'm engaged, So I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about on average from what I see in my community in my city. They don't have a knowledge, a desire, a commitment, a purpose. It's not pushed. That point is not driven home. It's not, you know what I mean? That vital principle is missing.
But now let's say if you're in a neighborhood where you don't see knowledge and purpose and all these beautiful words happening, then by default we supposed to talk about the fuckery. What's up? What else is there left to do? Get high, drunk, do the fucked up shit, and fuck. Here
And
come all the degenerate babies now.
that's the trap they
And
got to
it's
see.
just
That's the trap right there. That's the trap that we are. It's a perpetual repeating cycle that they got to see, man.
It's not that they got
Let,
us.
I don't
It's
think
what,
they got
and
me in
again, I hate
nothing.
when they say they got us in that. They don't got you in shit. They just keep a lane where you got a choice to indulge, and you choose to indulge. Because I put a liquor store on every corner, don't mean you got to stop at a liquor store.
For
Because
real.
I put a check cashing spot on every corner don't mean that's where you got to cash your check at. They make it convenient for you to be lazy and operating a fuckery. It's a reason why these people capitalize off you. I said it before. They capitalize off your stupidity. So why would they want you to get smart? It would be up to you to make the decision and the choice to do better. They're not going to help you do it. That would hurt their pockets.
Yeah,
So a
discipline,
lot of
bro. I
times
agree.
what you have is what we're talking about. Crabs in a fucking
Now
barrel.
you said what I said though. It takes discipline, right? Because the trap is
yeah.
laid, and a lot of us fall for it. Now, hey,
He
listen,
gets
there's no
there.
excuses, but there is though. You know what I'm saying? Because
No, I
my
think he's saying
peers,
one begets the other. So, like, if this is implemented, there is no pass, there is no lane for this whatsoever. There by force, you are disciplined, or whatever that looks like
Um,
in this utopia.
no. You gotta know how to discipline
also,
yourself.
can I make an input? I feel like Breezy, you're not realizing we the one put value to whatever their
Realize
standing
I
is because I feel like
disagree.
you have made the argument. One second, you have made the argument to say back then jumping over a broom doesn't mean there's any legality to it, right? What's it called? And I feel like if you listen to what Diabolical was saying it caused discipline. Like if you think about the process for someone to get married, you're taking time to say that both of you guys align. That's why you are getting married. So if you did take the discipline to say, let me vet or get to know the person to the point that I realize that we both align and that there is some sense of commitment and loyalty instead of just saying, oh, I'm attracted to you or whatever. Like I don't think you're getting that point. It doesn't matter if uh uh there's no written paper and the government doesn't recognize it. I think it's a thing of like if you have the discipline to do that, then a lot of the problem can be solved. But the community doesn't do that, and that's why it is a problem. And you're making the argument to say because if the government don't recognize it, who cares if the government recognizes it, yes or no? That doesn't change your decision making. That doesn't change the way how you vet out the people that you make children with. And that's what Diabolical is making, saying that it's a you problem. You as a community need to be making changes. You can't, like what Solution said you can't make the government make decisions for you because they will keep on playing you stupid because you don't willing to make the hard decisions. You prefer to take the easy decision. You prefer to take plan B. You prefer to say, okay, I can have abortions instead of sitting down, taking time, getting to know people before sleeping with them and potentially having this whoopsie an accident. Now you have produced a child with somebody that you don't really want to stay with. Do you get
Jay,
what I mean? I don't.
okay.
There's a saying that says, if I
Jay,
control the circumference of
what
your
people
knowledge,
fail to
One
realize
second.
is I
Good
just
job.
fundamentally disagree. That's really what I want y'all to
you can disagree.
understand. So like I get where you all are coming from. I get everything that you're implementing or you're saying should be implemented and how it can mitigate certain things. I just fundamentally disagree because I think that in that other things are going to still prevail.
That's
The
fine. That's fine.
opposite.
That's fine.
My opinion, yeah, I know. But my opinion still is my opinion. And it's not one of those things like it's not like I haven't gone through this, given it a long, good, firm thought, like all of these different things. I just disagree. So like if that is what, dominant society decided, I think that, the consequences I don't know that I would follow them. So that's also why I asked, so what's the penalty if you decide otherwise? You know what I mean? So like that's just
And that's the point.
what I
Mhm.
think. It's not that I don't
And that's
realize
the point.
anything. It's not that it's no. I just fundamentally disagree. Maybe I'm a degenerate. Who the fuck knows?
Mhm.
But like that's just
Oh
where I
yeah.
stand with it. Okay. That's what I think.
Don't burn bread on yourself now.
Mhm. But I feel like that's what Diablo was saying that it's a
No,
community
she's a
standard.
degenerate.
One
You
second,
literally saying
because one second.
degenerate shit. How would you say that to her? She know what she's
No,
saying.
Yeah,
no,
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 I'm
no, no.
saying
I'm not saying that what she's saying is no, no. I'm not downplaying what she said. I'm saying
I'm not
I
talking
heard
to
what
you,
she's
Jay.
saying, but you can't.
listen, the
Oh,
solution, stop throwing shots because I don't want to argue. It's not degenerate to me. This is my personal
You
opinion. I'm
arguing
doing
on
just
my
fine.
with
I'm doing
degenerate.
just
As soon
fine.
as I agree with
I'm doing,
being
but I'm doing just
degenerate,
fine. So I don't see
I'm
how
throwing
that works.
shots. Is
It's
it
fine.
yes
I'm
or
just
no?
saying.
Did you
I'm just
deliberately
saying. I
just
don't
say out
look at it
your mouth,
from that
maybe I'm a
lens.
degenerate? So if you
I
say maybe
don't
I'm a
look at
degenerate
it. I said
and
maybe.
I'm
Hey, if
saying
that's
you're
the
saying
way,
degenerate
if
shit,
that's the
how
way
am I
everybody
throwing a
else wants to
fucking
look at
shot?
it, that's
I,
fine. But
Where's
I
the
said
I
I said
shot
I
don't
said
look
from?
at it that
I
way.
said I said don't say that. I said
Luke,
don't say
stay
that.
out of it,
I
bro.
don't look at it that way. And I'm
I
not
need to
looking
give
at
me
it.
understanding, give
If
me
I
clarity.
looked at it
If
from
I make
your
a
lens, I
statement
would
well
already
saying,
look at
well,
it from
maybe I'm
your
a
lens.
fuck nigga. Well, wait a minute. If I
Oh
make
my
a statement and
gosh.
saying, well, maybe I'm a fuck nigga, and then Pretty Kelly comes off the mic and say, well, yeah, you saying fuck nigga shit, mate, he's a fuck nigga. Then all of a sudden I say, well, let's not throw shots. How was that a shot she threw at me? I'm the one that literally made the statement of saying fuck nigga shit and called myself
Listen,
a
I
fuck
don't
nigga.
think it is fuck nigga shit.
You
However,
said verbatim,
can
maybe.
I literally finish?
Well, mate, you
I
said
don't think
maybe
it's
I'm a
fuck nigga shit.
degenerate.
However, to other
For
people, they
you
might
say, for
think
you
that.
to say,
I
well,
don't
man,
think that.
you talking on a
I
topic
don't
doesn't
think
change
that.
the dynamic of what just happened here. Are you
Okay,
kidding me?
here we go.
You literally said
I'm not arguing.
verbatim,
I'm not arguing. If that's
verbatim.
the thing,
I quote, I
listen.
maybe I'm a degenerate. Well, God
Yes, in
damn
some
it, you've
people's
been saying
eyes, I
degenerate
don't think
shit.
that. I
So all
don't
of a
okay.
think
sudden
that
Agree
I
to
I'm.
say,
disagree.
yeah,
I
you
don't
a
think that I'm
degenerate. You've been
thinking
saying
anything
degenerate
that
shit. All
speaking
I did
towards
was give a
degeneration.
confirmation to where
I
you had a
don't
question.
think.
You
No,
offered a question to yourself.
it's
I
fine.
killed the question by giving
I
confirmation.
don't think.
How was that a shot?
That's fine. That's fine. But that's also why I
You
made
gonna
that
call this shit an
statement,
argument? This ain't an
because I
argument.
know for a fact
This shit
that's
is
what some
petty.
people are willing to say. If you have a baby out of wedlock, you're just a degenerate. If you don't go to college, you're a degenerate. If
Did
you
you
don't
have a
go
Look,
baby out of
to college,
wedlock?
you're a
Did
degenerate.
you have a
If you
baby
if
out of
you have
wedlock?
diabetes, if you have diabetes,
Did
you're a
you go to
degenerate.
college?
No,
If you
no,
don't like, it's
diabetes
just
ain't.
all of
Do
these
you have diabetes?
I don't think that, but I understand there are going to be lines drawn in the sand that some people are going to say, you know what? That behavior is degenerate. And that is the only point that I was making. It's not one of those things. You can
But
think it's nigga shit. I don't
That's
think
we're
that.
not
not what
drawing the
you
okay.
said.
line in the
Can't
sand,
get up the
Breezy.
replays
We're
on.
coming
Right,
up
So
with
when you go back to the
solutions.
oh my fault,
right. I wanted to say back to
No,
like,
no,
I agree.
no,
The
no. I
solution,
wasn't calling your name. I was saying we're coming up with solutions. We're not drawing
solution,
lines in the sand. So I don't
right.
know why Breezy's taking it that way. We're just coming up with solutions. We ain't talking about
Because
No,
anybody
I
what
was
they already
saying
do.
to
Mhm,
I wasn't. I was saying if
mhm.
to some people that do draw a line in the sand, if you have a baby out of wedlock, you a 304. Because some people do think that. It just is.
Fuck,
I'm just
hey,
saying
fuck them
it just
people. Fuck
is.
them people.
But I'm
No,
just
it's
Yeah,
not.
saying,
Fuck
can I
those people,
finish? Let
bro.
me
It's a
finish.
reason why it's called the
It's not
baby out of
that deep.
wedlock. Am I
It's
correct?
not that deep.
So now, do we
So
take
can
because
I
of
right.
the way
can I
we feel
say
like it
some
being called the
people
baby out of
do
wedlock
some
now
people
Wait,
changes
wait,
the
wait, wait.
dynamic
that
of having a
Us
baby out of
absolutely
telling
wedlock,
the
or am I
and
people is
tripping?
opposing the solution, people.
I
This
don't
is the problem.
that is
Hey,
it.
King
Let
David
me
was
just
a bastard.
respond. 1 second. Let me just respond back to what Breezy said. Breezy, I felt like you're not recognizing that today there is certain laws or requirement that stands today. They are called universal laws, like the ones where, oh, if you kill somebody, 1 second, if you kill somebody you go to jail.
So
That's a communicable expectation of you that is you that the government has enforced on you. So what Diana Bukova was saying is, as a community, if we create standards for ourselves, then we can make a change. Because let's be honest, as a society, when you have shame attached to something, you normally don't want to do it. But in this community, it's allowed, it's praised, it is something that is accepted, it's something that was so cool. Oh, is an option. But if you are in a society where you know that you probably can't work, you probably can't come to the dinner, you probably, like how once there was that scenario for the gays, you won't choose to
Yeah, that's
have
the
that kind of
that doesn't
lifestyle.
make
yeah,
sense
And
that's
for the
that's what,
scenario
universal
for
one
the
law.
gays,
second,
but there are
It's
still
used
gay
one
people.
universal law.
second,
Like
breathe. Let me just land. And then I feel like that's what that was trying to say. If you create standard for our community, these things can not grow in numbers but actually decrease in numbers, because let's be honest, certain quote unquote nigger behavior on what's the word
Negress.
uh
Oh no.
part, or all of these oh, I could sleep around, I'm a nigger, or
What?
I'm a guy, so
what the
What?
fuck?
Hold up.
the reason why I'm saying
Hey,
this is
Jay,
because
come
we
on,
have
Jay. You gotta
one
land
second,
that plane,
because
Jay.
Slippery.
one
You out of pocket. You
second, the
gotta land
reason
that
why I'm
plane,
saying
Jay.
it, 1 second, let me land so you can understand why I'm saying this, because on both sides these things stand in what's the saying standard. So if universally within the black community, or within just a overall look at things, if you have the standard that what's it called, you can't behave in this manner, a lot of things will be decreases. Because let's be honest, the people who are having these children with are the ones that are sleeping around and not being disciplined. That's why I use that as an example. And those are those men who they say, I'm a man, so whoopsie if I cheat, or whoopsie if I have more than one partner, whoopsie if I didn't use a condom. Like you can't we can't be moving like that, because that's
But
what creates these problems.
so this is the thing, and this
A
is
lack of discipline.
I think you used a really bad example, but I'm gonna start here and work backwards. There's no whoopsie in creating children. We all know how they're made. Okay. So we don't even need to like have like this immature conversation of like dick and pussy equal flat screen TV. There's no whoopsie about it. You did what you did, you get what you get. You do what you can do about it. That's it. We know. But when you make it seem like, oh, there once was this point in society that, there were certain stipulations placed on gay people and that decreased gayness. Come on now. We all know when people don't have access in public, what do? They do it in private. So that's why I also asked the question, so what is the penalty or the punishment, Diabolical? Because we know the way these things work. We're not going to make a utopian society. Yes, we can say shame, shame, shame. You have to morally give a fuck to be shamed. So that would just land on your moral compass, your values, and everything, and maybe not being exiled or ostracized. But you like some of this stuff, it just doesn't make sense and it doesn't seem plausible to me.
You
Law
morally
does
people.
not
That's what
have to.
I'm
You said what?
Well, let me
Wait, you
explain.
said
Because
what?
law Law
Wait,
is
hold
not
on,
just not.
Diabolical. You said
Of,
what?
I said, Breezy, to me, maybe ethically, morally, you do not care. You know, it's a
Wait, hold on.
you thing, and
One
it's
does
not
not
a
care?
collective.
You mean one does
Sorry?
not care?
No, you Breeze, because the
Oh, so
argument
you
that you're
directed
making
it to me.
is like
Okay, so
if somebody else can do it,
I'm
or
speaking
if
Whoa.
objective.
if
I'm
if
speaking
I
objective. That's why I corrected you. You mean one
okay,
does
okay.
not care. Don't fire at me. I shoot back.
Pew pew pew.
I wasn't shooting at you. No,
Okay.
no, no, Breeze. No, one
You
second, one
mean
second.
one
One
does not
second, Breeze. I am not coming at you like
do that
solution
question.
or anybody else because I said we're going for solution. I am saying to you, by your argument, it sounds like unless you're not talking about yourself, you're talking
I'm
about maybe
speaking
somebody else.
objectively. Duh. That's the whole point of
Oh,
the
okay.
argument. It's not
So
subjective.
that person that you're
That's why
objectively
I
think,
said one. So
uh,
basically, yeah, that's why I
mhm,
corrected you. And I said that means one does not care. We're having an objective
mhm,
argument. It's not
mhm.
subjective.
And my
Because
argument
it becomes
wasn't
personal.
individually. You
Argument
know that,
does
right?
not become personal. Any argument
Ma'am,
is
you're making an
objective.
individual argument for a group
It's
statement that I
objective.
made.
Objectively, I'm speaking on a group of people. So it wouldn't be singular. It wouldn't be subjective. It would be objective. Thank you.
You're not getting it. You're
Girl, do
you're
you know
using
what the difference
the
between
minority.
objective
You're
and
using the
subjective means?
minority
Because you
to.
just made a
I
subjective
understand
point.
that part. I
You just
understand.
said
Wait,
two,
breathe,
and I'm talking about one
breathe. Relax
because
to me.
that
Don't talk down to me. Do not talk down to me like I'm stupid.
objective.
I understand what
You
you're
just
saying.
literally said you
Oh my
morally.
god.
Come on now. You just spoke down to me. But when I correct your argument because you try to make it subjective, and I said I'm speaking from an
And I
objective point,
accepted that. Didn't
so
I say
meaning it
yes?
would
I
be one.
misunderstood.
And then
Did
now,
I not say that?
I'm
Okay.
telling you the argument is
Oh my
objective.
goodness.
Yes.
I
Oh
said
my goodness.
okay.
Oh my
I said
goodness.
okay
I
for
don't
that
think you're
point,
getting it.
and I
I don't think you're
comprehended
getting it.
what you
I
were
don't think
saying now.
you're
I
realizing the difference
misunderstood
between
you.
subjectivity and objectivity. I don't think you're getting it. I don't think you're realizing it.
Breezy, I
Like that's your whole
misunderstood
point.
you. I misunderstood you.
I
So now
know.
I'm taking on, okay. So now I'm acknowledging what you have to say. And now I'm saying to you something else, but you're not hearing it. Now you're just,
Yeah,
because I
no, I'm
misunderstood you
not.
first
No,
place.
I'm not. No, I'm not. So
Well, that's
just
how
say
it's
it to
coming
the rest of the
across.
stage. Not a big deal.
That's how it's coming across. If that's not what you're doing, okay, but that's how it's coming across.
Uh,
But all I was saying, you can't use the argument of a small group of people for the whole mass because what's it called? The thing of what's happening, you guys are saying
You
children and stuff.
use
It's
gay
a more
people.
one
You literally
second.
use gay people, but
What?
I
Oh
can
my goodness. Because
you
I'm trying to use
use
the
gay
exact
people.
way. Because the
Hold
reason
on a
why I
second.
use the
The
example, okay,
small
the
group
reason
of
why I
people
use the example,
example,
oh my goodness.
that doesn't make any
The
sense.
reason why can you allow me to finish? The reason
No,
why I use the gays,
it's not
one
making
second,
sense.
is not, listen, I didn't use gays because
That's a
of
small
them
yes,
being a
you
minute
did.
population. I did not use gays because they are minute population. I use gays to say that what's
A
a call
small
when
group.
it's not socially. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh my
Well, I can't
goodness.
even
You're
talk
not
to you
even
no more.
using your own rules and you're not following like the own rules that you're
Because
trying
it
to set up.
allows me to finish why I use that example. I'm not using it to say for majority of what that wasn't the reason why I brought up that point. The reason why I brought up that point was right to say that what's it called when it's not socially acceptable, you do otherwise. Come on, that's all I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to say, oh, but
Terrible
this
premise.
small group of people.
Terrible premise.
Yeah,
First of all, your
bad,
argument
bad
was not
example. Bad example.
Okay, maybe I
your
worded it
argument
wrong,
was
but I know what I'm trying to
it
say.
became
I'm pretty good at what
subjective.
I was trying
And
to
you
say
didn't even
too. Maybe
follow the
I
own
have
rules of
worded
your
it wrong. Wait,
argument,
one
but we
second.
can move on.
Breathe. Maybe I have worded it wrong. So excuse me if I have worded it wrong, but pretty got what I was trying to say in the chat. So just read it because she got what I was trying to say. But sometimes if you got to know me, I do word things wrong and the sentence structure doesn't really portray what I'm trying to say out my mouth. But
Well, Jay,
I
why don't
do know what I'm
you
trying to
time
say.
to allow things to flow? See, what you're doing is you're trying to rush the conversation and you're trying to get it out before you feel as though you're
Risque behavior.